It seems like only yesterday that I was spending 2 nights in a row staying up all night re-rolling my accounts on both my phone and my computer, mindlessly going through and pressing the forward button. And now, here I am, a whole month later. I cannot believe it. It does not feel like that long. But Wuthering Waves has now been out for one whole month. For me though, this is an even bigger day because if you look over here, not only is it the 1 month anniversary of the game, but as of today, my account has finally hit Union level 50, which is huge gains for me. I am ready to start gaming, although I'll be honest, I don't quite feel like I'm at the end game yet. Because it is such a big day for Wuthering Waves as a whole, and also my personal account finally reaching level 50, I thought this would be a great time to make an updated video where I continue sharing a few of my thoughts and opinions, and just kind of how I'm feeling with the game, and whether it's going to have any staying power in my life, or whether it's not. We'll have to see. This video is almost like a sequel to a video I made a couple weeks ago, so if you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out, because I mean, the takes in that video, I am telling you, amazing. So definitely go check that one out. In all seriousness though, the reason I am telling you about that video is to say, in that video, I covered things like story, the open world, and the new player experience, and in this video, you're not going to get so much of that, so if you're hoping I'm going to cover something, maybe go check that out. But this one is going to be more focused on the things that have started to show themselves out of the depths after I played every day for a whole month. So let me start by giving you guys a little short overview on how my account's looking after a month. So as I said, I hit level 50 today, but I literally just hit it as I've gotten home on this Friday afternoon. So none of my characters are level 80 yet. My plan is to get Encore and all my main DPSs up first, because I think that's going to be the smartest play in order for me to push Tower of Adversity as far as I can. The way that I've gotten to level 50 so fast, I mean, as you can expect, I've been max refreshing pretty much every day. Today I have not, and I'm still a little on the fence. My original plan was to max refresh all the way until I could get my resonators or my characters up to max level, and I still think that might be the plan, because that's been my general strategy in most gacha games, is to kind of like sprint to the finish line of when you're technically an end game, and then just kind of take it easy from there. Like in Honkai, that's what I did, and I haven't refreshed my resin in there for, I mean, I don't even know how long, because I sprinted to the finish, made myself a good base, and now I can just pre-farm for the characters and live that comfy gacha life. So this next take is going to sound super privileged and like super first world problems, but because I've been max refreshing every day, it's meant I had to do a lot of bullshit that I do not want to deal with. For example, running about, what do I do, like 10 tacit fields every day. It only takes maybe 20 minutes, but it feels like the longest 20 minutes of my day because it's so boring. I hate just like auto attack. All I do is just auto attack with Encore, because they're not engaging enemies. They're not doing any fun attacks, and it's just exacerbating this problem that I mentioned in my first video of no sweeping in the game. And it's another problem I had with Genshin. So, I mean, if you're a Genshin player, you might not be so perturbed as I am with this, but oh my gosh, I know that it's worse because I'm max refreshing, so I'm having to do like 10 of these a day, but please just add a sweep button. I don't want to do this boring gameplay. And this isn't a problem just in tacit fields. This is also a problem I have with the weapon materials, but I feel like this game is pretty generous with weapon materials. I don't feel like I have to do too many of these. It really sucks when I'm doing it, but I mean, it's just as good as Genshin's, I think. It would help if we had the condensed resin, so I wouldn't have to do as much, or just add a freaking sweep feature. But they seem pretty generous for us being so low union level at this point. I am still really enjoying the bosses, even the open world ones, and it's one of my favorite ways to spend my wave plates. It's not like this like mindless thing that I feel like I'm forced to do. That being said, it's still crazy that this costs 60 wave plates. I can't believe they haven't addressed this or tried to change it. I don't picture a world where this stays the same. If it does, that is going to be super cringe. I know that these rewards are going to scale up a little bit as we keep leveling, but that feels so bad. Like if I wasn't max refreshing every day and I got to do, what is this, 4 bosses per day? That's crazy. I do have to give one big shout out to my boys at Kuro Games, because in one of those 1.1 devlogs or videos that they put out, they did announce that they're going to add additional tasks to this adventure log here. So please, let's clap it up for them, because that is the best news I heard all week. Before I move on into the rest of my account progression in the next topic of this video, I want to kind of wrap up what I think about the daily grind and how I'm feeling so far. If you haven't watched my videos before, you might not know that I am a gacha gamer. I'm not just like a Genshin player. I'm not just a Wuthering Waves player. I'm a gacha gamer, and the way that I enjoy games like this, which might differ from you, is that 5 days a week, I like to log into a game for 15 minutes, get all of my materials, blow all of my resin or whatever you want to call it, and then log out and feel like I made some progression. And this one, you know, it's not the biggest grind that I've ever had to do in a game, but I really wish that it could be quicker. As I said, the sweep function is huge for me, and not only is it not quick when you don't sweep, but it's just so freaking boring. Like, I don't want to do 10 tacit fields ever. And especially now, once you really start maxing out your characters, you get all the skills, you get all the bosses. It's like the only thing you're gonna have to do is tacit fields. And that future that I'm foreseeing, where I just have to do 10 tacit fields every day for the rest of my life, that makes me not want to play. I'm gonna be honest with you. So hopefully they can fix that, or kind of adjust the system a little bit, because no bueno. So for this next part, I want to talk a little bit about the end game, which is a little misleading, because I don't think, in my opinion, that anyone is truly at the end game. And let me show you kind of a little bit of how I am playing this video game right now. I haven't touched morning eggs at all. This might be like, what the heck, you're level 50, you haven't even tried morning eggs? Are you even playing the game? To some people, you know what? Let me show you. Even with the monkey, I haven't touched it since my last video. I'm still only on 5. How about Memphis? No, I haven't even touched it. I don't even want to do it. And let me kind of explain my psychology, why I haven't done these hologram fights. I've never been a fan of like self-imposed difficulty. So I mean like Nuzlocke modes in Pokemon, where you're putting this rule on yourself to make the game harder than it was designed to be. And I feel like when you're playing the game under-leveled and trying to beat these like level 90 or level 100 bosses, it just doesn't feel like the authentic experience, and I'm not going to have fun for that. I personally am more like a traditional RPG gamer, where most of the fun for me is going around and like making my team as powerful as possible, so that when I go into these, I can feel like, oh my gosh, you put in all that work and effort into building, and being smart about building and strategizing right, so that you could beat the boss. It's not the actual fighting itself. I really enjoy watching some videos of people like a level 50 Chixia soloing morning eggs or whatever. I enjoy watching the little video and being like, oh, that's neat. For me personally, that's not my playstyle, so that's kind of my psychology in this. I mean, no shade to people who are really enjoying like fighting these endgame bosses while they're under-leveled. That's super cool, and I'm glad that people are having fun and they can just kind of like sit and really learn the fights so deeply at this point in the game. But for me, that's not how I'm enjoying it. I am going to push this Tower of Adversity. I was waiting to hit Union level 50 so I could try to get all of my main DPSs up to level 80 to try to push this as far as possible, which I will be doing this weekend, but haven't even tried to touch it because I'd known that that was on my horizon before this period ended. So that's kind of my thoughts on Endgame. I really have no opinion on it so far because I don't know how it's going to be. I am super excited to get to that point of where my resonators are all level 90 and I can really test my builds and my skills in the way that the game was meant, that it was designed around. I'm excited to see that difficulty. But until then, I haven't really touched a lot of this stuff. Moving on to my next point, and this is kind of the biggest point that I wanted to talk about in this video, because it is not only just like a personal concern of mine. You know, I can whine about all this little stuff that I talked about previously, but a lot of that is pretty subjective, I'll be honest. It's a problem that I have that maybe not 100% of the player base has, whereas this next problem is something that is really going to exacerbate itself and just get worse and worse as the game goes on, in my personal opinion, and that is this echo problem. You know, there's a lot of differing opinions about it. Some people think that it's just because it's the beginning of the game. We're all starved for resources. And I'll be honest, I kind of was on that side of the wall too. You know, as I say a million times in all my videos, I'm a veteran gacha gamer. And at the start of all these games, we all are starved for resources and all starved for good relics. And so I kind of thought that was going to be the same deal. But as I've experienced this system more, and as I have maxed refreshed my tacit fields every day for like 2 weeks straight, I've started to notice that there might be some cracks in the system. They had such an awesome and innovative idea with this ecosystem. I loved those first couple weeks when I was traveling around the overworld, and not only was I getting rewards from chests and puzzles like I was in that other open world game, but I was also getting gear that I could equip. Like, it was such a cool idea. As I have started to finalize my builds and kind of lock in relics on some of my characters though, I'm starting to see how this might become a huge pain in the ass compared to the other Hoyo games. Like I said, you know, they're gonna get compared. They copy the game, they're gonna get compared. That's how it goes. And I've started noticing this as I've been farming my set for Genshin. And I've put all of her sets so far on Alto, so I can show you guys what I have so far. I mean, this one's pretty passable, but a lot of them are pretty dog, and I have been farming the tacit field, the Spectros tacit field, for 2 weeks now. Now, this is a story that you'll still hear a lot in Genshin or Honkai, so nothing new there, but it's just felt a lot more painful than those games. In this game, not only do I have to worry just about the main stat, I also have to worry about this Heron rolling onto the right set. Why did they make them have 2 sets? I can't fathom that still. I guess it's... no, I'm trying to think of a reason, but I really can't fathom why they put 2 sets on each. It just makes the RNG so much worse. Something that I was pretty positive on towards the beginning of this game was the varied subsets that they added, like the basic attack damage bonus or the heavy attack damage bonus. It made me feel like, oh, it feels like there's enough good substats that they outweigh the bad ones like flat HP or flat defense. But as I engage with it more, I'm starting to realize they're all just dog shit if it's not crit rate or crit damage. It's like, I'm never excited, especially like on a character that never uses a basic attack. It's like, I feel like defense or flat defense would have been better than the basic attack damage. It just muddies the pool even further. This piece isn't going to help the fact that I'm only getting like 20% crit damage from all of my artifacts combined. It's all still just dog shit. I was excited about it at first, but I've started to realize that the pool is bigger now, and so it gives you even less of a chance of getting like Abyss artifact that you really need. The absolute worst part about these echoes is probably something that you have experienced as well, and to be fair, is something that Kuro is beginning to address, and that is leveling all of your echoes up. They are going to add more echo experience in 1.1 from tacit fields. That does not change the fact that I think for the longevity of this game, you will always have a disproportionate amount of echoes that have the right main stat after you go through that excruciating process of finding the right set and right main stat. Then you have to go through this even worse process of finding enough echo experience and then tuning them. So, you know, not only does it take a lot of materials, but it's also just an unfun experience. I mean, it probably took me almost an hour the other day when I was finally trying to build this set up, because it takes so long. There's all these convoluted systems. Now in Genshin and HSR, I will admit there's also going to be plenty of painful artifact leveling experiences where, you know, you just keep hard rolling into those bad substats. You get one crit rate line and then the rest just rolls into flat defense. We've all been there, right? So it's nothing new. But at least in those games, the process is a little bit less painful. You know what you're farming for in the right domains. You don't have to worry about it rolling on the right set at first, right? And then getting the right main stat. You're just looking for like a chest that has the good main stat. And in that process, you're probably going to get a whole bunch of dog shit stuff, but at least you can just feed it right into the Echo to level it. I don't think I've ever had to worry about Echo, or whatever you call them, artifact XP and Genshin or HSR. I don't remember even in the first couple of months worrying about that. Whereas in this game, I'm foreseeing a future where there's always going to be a surplus of having the right main stat on the right set. Even though it's an excruciating process to get it, you can infinitely farm it. But there's always going to be a surplus of things that I want to level up, like all of these that I have, and then having no materials to do it. I realize a lot of people are going to say they're fixing it in 1.1, and I'm really happy about that. They're making an effort to try to fix it and giving us more XP and more tuners. I still think that at the end of the day, because you're allowing people to endlessly farm the main stat, there will always be this gap between what you can level and what you have the materials to level, and that is always going to feel bad. Okay, that was some long-winded bitching about Echo, so let me kind of sum my thoughts up here. I hate that there are 2 sets on each Echo to farm, and that adds more RNG. Also, there's more main stats than there are in other games, which also feels worse. And going into that point, there's also more substats that aren't good, which muddies the pool and makes finding the right ones even worse. I also hate that there's not enough XP to level the ones that I do get, because even though it's an awful process of finding them because there's so much RNG, you can farm them endlessly, so you can get more. But still, even when I have them, I can't level them up because there's not enough XP. That's my problem with the ecosystem. That's all I have to say about it. I really hope that these changes they make will fix the problem further, but as I said, I think this problem will always exist because of the fact that we can endlessly farm these, and it's always going to feel bad. We're always going to be sitting on some that we want to level, but we can't. I don't think they can fix the problem unless they just make you able to feed echoes that you don't want as XP into echoes you want to level. I think that's the only fix. I don't think they'll ever do that. I don't think it would be a smart play for them moolah wise, but I think that is the only fix to make this not feel bad. Okay, enough shitting on the game for now. Yes, I don't love the boring parts of the game, like having to do 10 tacit fields, and yes, I don't love the ecosystem, but I am still really positive about the game. I think the developers have been awesome about communication and listening. The devs listened, holy cow. And I'm also just really excited about the future of this game. Like, I'm so hyped to get all of my resonators up to 90 and actually engage with the end game and the way that it was designed. That's going to be a total blast, I think. And I don't see a future where I'm not trying to clear Tower of Adversity and whatever other endgame modes that they add in the future. That is the main draw of this game, and that's still what I'm most excited about. Yeah, we have the bad systems that are there, and I really wish they fixed them, but at the core, I still think that this game has some awesome gameplay, and I'm excited to see what comes in the future. Anyways, that is all I had to say for today. I'm really enjoying the game 1 month in, but let me know. Are you enjoying it or not enjoying it as much as I am? Let me know how you're feeling down in the comments. I'd really appreciate to see your opinions and talk with you down there. I will always respond. I love reading those and seeing what people think. Also, if you enjoyed the video, if you made it this far, please like and give me a subscribe. I'm coming out with a bunch of contents all week. So anyways, I love you all, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.